as we are set. Friday Night Lights, here we go. And now we got an opening squib kick. That's going to be taken by the up man, and that will be down at the 40-yard line. That is number 15, Jermit Gunning. That's a big play right there.
Absolutely. The Franklin Township will take over 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. He appeared to be tackled by, at least everybody.
Yeah, it looks like a host of it. So it looks like Franklin, we're going to start it off in great field position here. Something that I personally, and I'm sure the coaching staff also, didn't see coming as far as an opening squib kick to try to recover the ball. Now, 1st and 10, shotgun set, flanked over, trips to your right, bottom of your screen. Takes the snap. He's going to hand that ball off. He's going to go nowhere and nowhere fast.
Taken down quickly by number 9, Ramo Julius. 5'7", comes in, backfield. They're already backed up by 4 yards.
Yeah, Donnell McQuilla. Like I said, McQuilla, he's the one who had the breakout game last game with a little bit of fourth quarter magic, trying to make a little bit of a comeback last week. But that's the running game they established last week. So we'll see if they go to him early or they go to a reliable Isaiah Solomon, who's also had a lot of touches and a lot of field play and action early on. So here we go now, 2nd and about 14 here from the 36-yard line. Shotgun set again, running back off to his right, trips down to your bottom of your screen here. Takes the shotgun, he's going to look right. He's going to go up top, and looks like he got tugged. No call. And there is the flag.
We got a flag on the field. It was late. And it's in the secondary.
Yeah, that ball was intended for Ricardo Folks, 5'10 receiver. He is only a sophomore getting his reps here in varsity level, but it looks like it might be a holding. We're going to wait for the officials before we crucify anybody with a penalty.
I believe he was being defended by Samir Scott.
So we got pass interference on the defense.
That's going to be against Scott.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big call, and it's a big call early to try to change the momentum of the field. So now they're going to move this ball up.
And you know what? Whether or not it's a first down that you move the ball or a penalty, this is momentum.
Oh, absolutely.
And you want to use that momentum to your advantage. Now you have 1st and 10. Keep running with it.
Absolutely. It's time for them to now establish what they want to do now. So after the pass interference call, it is 1st and 10, fresh set of downs on now the Linden 49. So let's see what Coach Amoroso and Petch dial up here on 1st down. Quarterback's going to line up in a pistol. He's in a shotgun with a running back lined up right behind him. Wide receivers, one to the top, one to your bottom. He's got RPO, and he's going to hand this ball off to Solomon.
Taken down immediately. That appeared to be number 56, Jaleel Thompson, and that's going to be a loss of at least 3 yards.
Yeah, I mean, what they're going to try to do right off the bat, I mean, from a year past and even in this year, they want to establish the run and try to establish the ground game early. So out check Solomon, in check back in McQuilla into the huddle now on 2nd and about 12 from their own 49 now. So remember, folks, if you're just joining us, they're trying to march down the field here. They have an early pass interference call. Trips on the bottom of your screen. Shotgun set. Running back lined up to his right. Now over to his left. Shifts it maybe for a little bit of coverage. And it looks like we're going to get a dead ball whistle here and a timeout by the Franklin Warriors. So, Scott, right off the bat, what are we seeing out of the Franklin Warriors offense?
Out of the Franklin Warriors offense, they're trying to establish that run. Not having a lot of luck, but they're definitely not going to go away from it. I did like the one pass call, even though they didn't line up with their receiver. They have to establish one or the other, but they're getting so much penetration on that offensive line from Linden. They have to deal with that, or else the run is never going to get going.
Yeah, something you got to keep your eye on, as you said in the pregame. These Linden boys are big. They are big on the line, and I'm going to go on a limb here and say that, yes, the size advantage will go to the Tigers of Linden. But, it remains to be seen.
Dave, what I would tell you is I think they may have to start moving towards some misdirection or screen over the course of the game just so that they can outmaneuver that penetration they're getting up the middle. We'll see if they go that way.
Right. So you have the score on the bottom of your screen here, but the official time will be kept on the field. We're looking at 10 minutes and 18 seconds to go here just in the first quarter. We're just getting started. Trips to the top of your screen. Shotgun set, running back off to his left. Takes the snap. He's going to look to swing. Got to be careful there. Cuts back a little bit, but met by a host of Linden Tigers. That catch was by Donnell McQuilla, but you know what? That might actually go as a rush because it was behind the line of scrimmage, thrown by Kayvon Gordon.
Yes, and just like we did say, they tried to screen, but they didn't get it set up just right. That penetration was still there, broke up the timing on everything. They still, I say, need to go with the misdirection.
Yeah, I mean, they have to trick this defense a little bit. Now, putting themselves in a behind-the-chain situation here, it's now 3rd and 13, so a 3rd and long situation here for Franklin. Quarterback will come with, we got quads here, folks. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Shotgun set, running back flank to his left. Back to pass, he's looking left first. He's going to keep his eyes down the field. He's got a shot, and it will be just a little high.
Defended by number 8 once again.
Yeah.
Well defended.
Intended for Shikana Kamara, Hukana, whatever I said last week. Hakuna Matata, that's how I was calling him last week. But, yeah, I mean, look, they had the right idea there.
Absolutely right. And what we spoke about, what I spoke about with Tom last game we were together, fundamentals. That was a great fundamentals play where the cornerback used the sideline as an extra defender.
Absolutely. Now it looks like Franklin will line up to punt this one away. Asari Bampopari will be punting this one away to try to play the field position game. Good snap. Line drive kick. You got to be careful if you're Linden. You want to get away from that one. That will go out of bounds and be marked at the 35-yard line of Linden. So now it's time to find out what Linden has on offense, and let's see what the Franklin Warriors have on defense.
Absolutely, and we know Linden comes into this game, their tallest man, 6'4", plays wide out.
Oh, boy. I mean, look, the size game is one thing, but you got to wonder how much speed, how much endurance do these guys got? Are they well-conditioned? So anybody can have size, and that makes sense on paper, but we'll find out, and that remains to be seen as well. So now Linden will come out, quad set, 2 receivers to the bottom, 2 on top, shotgun with a running back flank to his right. He's going to hand that ball off and get about 2 or 3 yards with a host of Franklin Warriors making the tackle.
Swallowed by the offensive line, not least of all there, number 76, Marcus Estevez, 6'1", 300 pounds, the biggest man on that team.
I got B.J. George on the carry. He's going to get the ball, and he's going to get the ball often, folks. 642 yards on the ground in addition to his 3 touchdowns. So he's having himself a phenomenal start to the 2018 campaign. Linden now lines up here. 4 wide receivers, actually 3 wide receivers. They flank one inside. He's going to hand that ball off. He's going to split out to his right, get about to the 43, 44-yard line. See where they mark him out here. Went right to the sidelines, and that was number 5, Christian San Clemente for the Linden Tigers. That's going to set up an early 3rd down. So now, what do you bring if you're the defensive coordinator of the Franklin Warriors?
I love defense, and you know me. I want to bring the house. Well, if you're the Franklin, I want to bring the house. I want to bring a blitz. I want to see if they can stop what we're bringing. That's going to tell me a lot about what this team will be able to dictate when it comes to defense for the rest of the game.
Good call, Scott. Now we're going to have a shotgun set on 3rd and about 2.5, 3 yards. This one's going to be a handoff right up the gut, and he breaks one, and he's going to be spilled right around the 49-yard line. That's a 1st down, folks, and that is, once again, B.J. George, like we said earlier, often carrying this load.
Ricardo Folks on the tackle, not before the 1st down, but definitely saved a touchdown right there with the ankle tackle. Excellent, at least reaching back and was able to get him down before he got much more yardage. They're still not at the 50 yet.
All right, now at their own 49, 1st and 10, they're going to spread them out again. Quads, we have 2 receivers to your right and left, but this one's going to be a jet sweep handoff. Coming out left, gets to about the 45-yard line of Franklin, and that's number 5 of Linden. That's Christian San Clemente again, the 5'11 running back. Junior year.
Hamid Badru with the tackle, bringing up 2nd and 3. They can't keep letting these running backs get to the secondary, get to the second level. They're opening themselves up. If they break one more tackle, they're all the way to the house.
Yeah, something you got to keep an eye on is missed tackles. Missed tackles lead to very, very bad things for any team. So now Linden, we're going to go trips right to the top of your screen with a solo receiver down flank to your left. Shotgun set, rolls out the pass. He's looking down the field. He's got a man open, but just a little overthrown is their quarterback. That was intended for number 8, Samir Scott.
That appears to be number 22 out there on the defense as well, Isaiah Solomon. But if they had connected, that would have been another first down. And I would say that was more of a miscue between the receiver and the quarterback than more the defense breaking it up.
Zion Marshall is your quarterback for the Linden Tigers this year. He's having himself a great year as well. 216 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. But something you want to keep an eye on, Scott, 43 rushes for 352 yards as well.
Having a versatile quarterback.
Another pivotal third down here. Offset eye. That's going to be, he could have been bottled up in the backfield, but now instead he spills himself and gets a second effort, and that will be taken down around the 35-yard line. That is number 7, once again, B.J. George. Keep your eye on that kid all game long.
And I think I saw Estevez jump right into the quarterback's pocket. He looked like he was about to take the handoff, and he ran right by him. Coaches and even Pop Warner said you have to bring your arms with you to the tackle.
Well, with all the league changes in the NFL, who knows how these kids are being taught how to tackle nowadays. You got to be careful with that. But here we go now. First down, fresh set of downs. We're going quads again. 2 receivers to the top, 2 on the bottom. Shotgun set. They're going to bring man in motion. They're going to hand the ball off, and that's a fumble, folks. That's a ball, and that's ball, and we're going to find out who recovered it. And I believe Franklin has the ball. It is. It's Franklin Warriors football. Noah Ratliff with the recovery.
Noah Ratliff, Johnny on the spot. I believe he was the one to knock it free. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. You don't see a drop of rain, but that ground is slick, which makes the ball slick. Perfect opportunity for turnovers.
That is a big, big deal here because normally if you win that turnover battle, Scott, you know it better than anybody, you're going to win the game, or at least your odds are very high. So here we go now. Franklin with a big turnover with about 6:32 to go here in the first quarter. He's in the pistol again. He's going to snap the ball, hand it off to his left. He gets to the left side. Not much, but a little second effort will get him about a yard. Is Solomon. Isaiah Solomon on the carry. He's, again, like I said to you in the pregame, he's the guy that you can pretty much rely that he will get positive yardage. He's going to keep his head down. He's going to keep chugging on forward.
And you know what? It may not look like much. It may only look like a 1-yard run, but that's the first positive run for this team. If they keep going to the well, it's going to break. It's going to break for them in at least a bigger run, 5-yard, 10-yard, maybe even a scamper all the way downfield.
We got trips on the bottom of your screen here. Trips to your right. Kayvon in the shotgun here. Running back to his right. Pass over the middle. Nice catch. Nice grab. And that is a picture-perfect catch. And it looks like it's going to be a Franklin first down.
Taken down by Christian San Clemente, but not before that first down.
Shakuna Kamara. Again, you got to keep your eye on this kid. He's got talent, and once he gets the ball in space, he can make some plays.
Hey, Franklin's on the move, Dave.
Well, this is exactly what you have to do. When you get a ball turned over to you, it's a gift. So you got to take advantage of this gift. And right now, 2 positive plays back-to-back. And the Franklin Warriors coming to the line again, 1st and 10. Trips up top this time to your left. The running back in the pistol right behind his quarterback for maybe extra protection, maybe a handoff. Looking left. He's still looking left. That's a little high. Ill-advised pass looking for Kamara again. This one just a little bit over the head.
Dangerously sailed over, and that's the other side of that ball being slick and wet. If the quarterback, if it doesn't sail right off the hand, it's going to sail high. He has to make sure to keep that ball down, make sure it gets to his receiver or no one else.
Yeah, Kayvon Gordon has had himself a decent year right now. Going into this game, obviously he is the guy, the go-to guy. He's your quarterback, so you want to get behind him. You want to keep the confidence. You want to keep that team morale. No ill-advised pass is a bad pass. He's got the right idea. So trips to the bottom of your screen now. Pistol again. Kayvon in the pistol. Watch out. There's that low snap, and you got to be careful. That is actually going to go down as a registered sack.
Number 58.
Looks like 56.
Nope, 56 for the Tigers. That's Jahil Thompson. 245 pounds, 5'10". I think he eats children.
245 pounds, Scott. That's more than me right now, and I'm 6'1.5", and I ate a hell of a lot. So I tell you right now, that's a big boy, and we said that in the pregame. But here we go now. We got trips to the top of your screen. Kayvon in the shotgun. He's going to look left. He keeps his eyes down the field. He's going to launch one up, and just out of reach.
Broken up.
That's a nice defensive play.
Absolutely. I think that was broken up by number 13, Chris Banks. That's going to bring up 4th and 13. Franklin can't keep putting themselves into long yardage situations on 3rd and long, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. We've now seen a 3rd and 13.
Yeah, I mean, and now you're playing from behind the chains. It kind of changes the philosophy of your offense. You got to be careful here. But now lining up the punt, we're going to play the field position game again. The last punt was a direct one. Not a lot of hang time. We'll see if he gets a little bit different here on a picture-perfect night weather-wise. But you said it yourself, the balls have been slick.
We've already seen it sail, and we've seen a fumble. Let's see what happens here.
Good snap. There's another one direct. That's going to take a very, very favorable Franklin Warriors bounce. That one's going to go inside the 25 to the 24, it looks like. So that's exactly where the Linden Tigers will take over with 4:10 to play in the first quarter. Scott, what's got to change now for this Linden team to try to get established here?
Well, Linden has to keep playing a disciplined game. They've had their turnover. Fine, you had your harm, your foul, but you know what? Your defense went in there, did their job. Now you establish your running game. You march down the field. You get in the end zone. You play discipline like you've been doing all season long. Don't get sucked into the trap, which this game could be a trap game.
Shotgun set here on first down. 2 receivers split to the left. He's going to hand that ball off. He's going to split outside, but a good tackle. Group tackle here. And that'll be spilled around the 26-yard line. Looks like number 7 on the carry. That's B.J. George once again.
I have to call this man's name again. Number 76, Marcus Estevez was the first one there, then followed by a host of his friends, family, and roommates taking that man down. Did I mention he's 300 pounds, Dave?
I know. Listen, personally, I know Marcus Estevez. He is a teddy bear. Okay, don't let the weight and size fool you. But he is a ferocious lineman, both sides of the ball. That is.
Absolutely.
So now, shotgun set. 2 receivers on the bottom of your screen. We have an H-back set up towards the right. He's going to hand that ball off once again to the outside. He's going to get outside to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and it's a foot race, 40, 35, 30. 20, 15, 10, 5. See where they mark him out. They're going to mark him out short. A touchdown-saving tackle here, but what a break for B.J. George.
They took him out right at the 7-yard line. All the secondary, and this is what we kept saying before, they can't let him get to the secondary and try and take him down there. I believe that was number 15 in on pushing him out of bounds. But you have to get there and meet him at the line of scrimmage. Everybody has to come to the ball and make the tackle.
Yeah, with B.J. George's stats coming in, you just knew it was only a matter of time before he breaks one. And that secondary and linebacker core are going to have their hands full if the defensive front can't get through. So let's see now what Linden draws up here now in the red zone.
I'm going to bet Linden's going to go through the air for the first one.
All right. Well,
I'm going to bet you
but we have a little bit of a bull backfield here. 2 fullbacks, 1 single back in the back, and they're going to pitch it out. Cut in the corner. Going to the end zone. He dives. He's going to be marked short at the 1. That's B.J. George again.
Taken out, I believe, by number 4 for Franklin. Trahan Taylor, touchdown saving push out of bounds.
He reached for the pylon. Almost, he had the right idea, but just a little bit outside.
And for the record, that's why I don't bet.
Well, you can do that online now, which is the scariest thing I've ever seen. So, but now Linden will come up on 2nd and goal from about the 1 foot yard line here. I mean, they're really inside the 1. They're coming out with that same formation, a bull formation. They're going to hand it off to George going up the middle. Can the linebacker, I think, and a touchdown for Linden Tigers. We're going to get a 6-0 start. That's a heck of a drive put together by Linden.
Those are some huge men on the line. Now, I give credit to Franklin, Dave, because Franklin's line has been getting penetration. But the problem is they get the penetration, but they're not making the stop. They're not wrapping up. They had the opportunity on that initial long run.
So now kicking for Linden a pivotal extra point. All extra points are huge in high school football, and that's Nashawn Holmes. I'm sorry, that's number 38. Unlisted here on my stat sheet.
Blocked.
It's blocked. That's a beautiful block. That is big time right there. That is.
If he had picked it up, he could have possibly ran that back.
That was Rafael Martinez on the attempted. So now 3:01 to go here in the first quarter. That's a big play. I mean, you have to be careful. I mean, 6 is a lot different than 7, Scott.
Absolutely. If it comes to a tight game, nothing's tighter than 1 point.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, let's see if they can build off that as far as a momentum boost is concerned. I mean, obviously, B.J. George is going to be who he is. I mean, they're ranked number 19 in the state for a reason. They have playmaking ability, and you saw it on that drive. But with 3:01 to go here in the first quarter, a lot of football left.
Absolutely, and I know the first touchdown going to Linden could be deflating for Franklin, but the truth of the matter is Franklin's defensive line has been getting penetration. Estevez and company have been getting in the backfield. They just have to make that tackle. They have to make that first hit and wrap up, and they can put Linden in long yardage situations the same way Linden has been doing to them.
So now Donnell McQuilla will try to put the Franklin Warriors in decent field position. That is if Linden kicks this ball down the field, because unlike the opening kickoff, went short.
It looked like something out of that Saints Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we'll find out if he decides, if the coaching staff wants to put it in the air. Franklin definitely needs a decent return here to try to gain a little bit more steam off the blocked extra point. Kick is away this time. It'll go right down the field to the 10. Taken. Going to the 20, 25, 30, and he'll be spilled there. And
appeared to be number 8, Samir Scott on the stop.
26, Shakina Kamara on the return. They have some lethal talent back there as far as their kickoff return guys. I know some teams, they don't like to use their, quote, star players in the backfield like that due to injuries and whatnot, but Coach Petch, I mean, he's taking no chances. He's saying, you know what, I have 2 playmakers on this offensive side of the ball. Those are going to be the guys that are going to return my kicks.
Absolutely. And you know what? Put your best chips on the field to do the job. That's what you have to do.
So now I formation now. One receiver flanked up to the top of your screen. He's going to hand the ball off right up the gut. Nice blocking scheme. He's going to get through, and that's Isaiah Solomon. Solomon breaks one.
Oh,
Solomon
my goodness.
30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Isaiah Solomon.
That was awesome. Excellent blocking, excellent run. He found the seam, created more space, slipped several tackles. Franklin came to play today, Dave.
I told you once, and I'll tell you a million times, if you're going to hand the ball off, you're going to hand the ball off to the guys that you have handed the ball off to all season long. Isaiah Solomon has come into this game and come into this season not listed as your number 1 running back. They've been banged up in the backfield, so Isaiah Solomon has carried the workload in this backfield, and he's done a phenomenal job. And now it's a very key extra point here with the game tied at 6. And it is good, folks. Dead center. 7-6, 2:40 to go here in the first quarter. And we are going to take our first commercial break here on the HSG Network. We are back here on the HSG Network, high above. This game is brought to you by the Franklin High School Booster Club. We pay for the things they can't. Dave Sturcio alongside Scott Harrell and Scott Isaiah Solomon to the house.
That was the perfect right-hand counter when you just got punched with the left hand.
Speaking of the left hand, I almost received the left hand because I did not include our producer and the guy that puts this all together, Howard Gaber. Thank you, Howard, for putting us on and, paying us the big bucks.
Absolutely. Wait, we're getting big bucks?
maybe you are. I'm probably not.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of IOUs going around here. But here we go now. We're going to kick this ball off at the 40. And now this one's going to be kicked to the up man. Little confusion here on the Linden side, and they're going to down that ball around the 33-yard line.
Linden should thank their lucky stars on that one. That was number 88. That was number 88. I don't have number 88 on.
It's all right. Dami Awafina
Thank you.
was recovered. That was number 10 on the recovery there. You got to be careful. But now 7-6, 2:36 to go here. Linden looks like they got a little shook on that run.
They have to be. They were not expecting that, and I don't know. I'll be honest, I haven't seen every game this season, but I don't know of too many other teams, especially with Franklin's record, that's put a play on them like that, especially after a score.
100% accurate on that one. Shotgun set now, takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to George. George is going to split out right. It's a foot race again to the 46-47. George is getting himself a heavy dose early on here in this game.
Taken down finally by number 7, Dylan Millman. That's going to be a first down, touchdown-saving tackle, but they have to get him down. They have to get him in some long yardage situations. They don't want to keep trading touchdowns with Linden.
Well, it's one thing you just said, touchdown-saving tackle. You've said that quite often already. You don't want to put yourself in those situations where you got a touchdown-saving tackles here and there. So here we go. First and 10, fresh set of downs, shotgun set. He's going to hand that ball off. He's going to split outside. Out to the 45. He's looking for a lane to the outside. 50-50. He's going to get there to about the 46-yard line. Nice run.
That was number 4, Trahan Taylor on the stop. Picked up 6 yards on the carry. Okay, I was just looking at the signal on the field, but picked up 6 yards, maybe 7 on the carry.
Got to get a little bit more penetration up front because once these guys get to the outside, they can make some plays. I mean, there's a lot of speed on this Linden team.
Well, I'm seeing, Dave, I don't know about you, but on every play, there is a Franklin player from that defensive line making his way in.
Right.
He just has to make that stop.
Shotgun set with a running back now split to his left. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. He's going to hand the ball off again to George. No, he does not. He's going to keep it himself. Wow, faked me out. Look at that. What an extra effort. Great run by the quarterback, Zion Marshall. We said it before, 352 yards coming into this game.
And we were talking about deception. Didn't expect Linden to do it. Even faked us out up here. Zaire Ross Hester on the stop. But had us all looking one way. I thought that
I've been following George all first quarter.
Yeah.
So
Franklin, I thought they had their first stop in the backfield.
And it looked to be. But now a minute 16 ticking away here in the first quarter. We're going to get a first down, fresh set of downs here for Linden. We're going to go quads again. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 2 to the top. Shotgun set with a running back offset to his right. In motion now. He's going to hand it off on a jet sweep. He's going to hit the hole hard to the 20, 15, 10, 5 to the 1-yard line. And that is number 8. My goodness, Samir Scott on a jet sweep. You got to keep your eyes open for everything, Scott.
Oh, my goodness. Jet sweep is not the word. You might as well call it his sweep. Trahan Taylor on the stop once again. It's a problem if in your secondary your leading tacklers are your cornerbacks, your safeties, your free safeties. They should not be your leading tacklers.
Yeah, last time Linden was in the red zone, it was a heavy dose of run. They have not put the ball in the air, I don't think, at all. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm missing 1 play or 2, but I don't see any balls going in the air, and they have some great playmakers on the outside. So now we have a first and goal, shotgun set with an H-back. He's going to hand it off to George right up the gut, and George will be stopped at the 1.
I believe, once again, Marcus Estevez ate that running back.
He's a force. Yeah, absolutely. His diet tonight is B.J. George. I mean, that has to be the go-to. I mean, look, these guys, and I can tell you from experience, they study a lot of tape. I mean, the hours are put in studying these guys, and I'm sure they have plenty of tape on B.J. George as we are going to quarter time. But the momentum is now swinging just a little bit towards the Linden Tigers here. But we're going to go to break. We'll be back with the second quarter after this. We are back up in the booth, Franklin High School, for Friday Night Lights, brought to you by the Franklin High School Booster Club. We pay for things they can't. It is the Linden Tigers trailing your Franklin Warriors 7-6 as we get started here in the second quarter. Dave Sturgio alongside Scott Harrell, our producer. Also here, Howard Gaber in the booth, making sure everything goes nice and easy for us. The stream is clear. Let us know you're watching. Do me a favor and share. Share it to all your friends across the nation. And so I can give a couple of Tom Wilkins crazy shouts, stuff like that. So we have a second and goal now from about the 1 foot. Another bullnose formation. Whoa, we got a late bloomer here.
I've never heard that call, but I'm sure.
And I've never said that call. So anyway, that looks to be a ill-advised substitution. A little late to the party indeed, said our producer, Howard Gaber.
On page 197 of the football code, you will find late bloomer, chapter 3, section C.
That is fantastic. So now they're going to back them up. That's a big play. I mean, that's a big, big miscommunication by the Linden offense. That's going to back them up to the 6.
Absolutely.
And on second and goal, now the playbook becomes a little more wide open, I would think, but Linden has been showing us a heavy dose of run. Same formation, 2 fullbacks, 1 tailback by himself. That's B.J. George. He's going to follow his walls of blockers. If he can get outside, he's got a lane to the outside. Touchdown, Linden.
Touchdown once again. Following his blockers all the way in, and you've been saying it all game long. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. They've been using heavy doses of run. Why? Because they can.
Because it works.
Exactly.
It's been working for them right now, and this defense has to make a couple adjustments. That touchdown, though, however, was brought to you by the Franklin High School Booster Club. We pay for things they can't. So now a very pivotal extra point. Obviously, the first touchdown, that was blocked.
The first extra point, sir.
Yes, that's what I meant. Of course.
Far be it from me to correct you. The legend himself.
Yeah. And now we have a little bit of a false start and or offsides. We're going to find out. It is against the Franklin Warriors. A little ill-advised encroachment on the defense. That'll move it up about a half a foot. And we'll do it again. Like we said before, I mean, blocked extra point, that's a big deal.
Well, not only that, but now that you're moving up closer and the run has been working so well for you, I think they may be sending in a team to do a 2-point conversion. Why not?
Keep in mind, high school football, they're still kicking it from the normal spot, our traditional spot of around the 2-yard line with a snap. They're still kicking it from there. But if you go for 2, guess what? You're getting the ball right there. It's not your NFL 33-yard extra point. This is your basic stuff. So now it remains to be seen what they do here. Up now 12-7. Do they go for 2 early? And it looks like a huddle and a break of a huddle. It looks like they're going to go for 2 here.
I believe they're going for 2, Dave, and they're setting up in that bullnose
again. And a
again.
timeout by Coach Petch running onto the field to make sure his boys of Franklin are ready for a 2-point conversion because, look, this is pivotal. I mean, I know it's early and we're in the second quarter here, but as we see Coach Petch, well, why don't we run off the coaches here for your Franklin Warriors? Obviously, head coach John Petchkowski, Coach Petch. Dominic Amarasso, Coach Ammo, he is your offensive coordinator, along with Muhammad El Shabini. That's Mo, Coach Mo, he's the special teams guy, along with all their assistants, Tom Farley, Dan Ioza, Rocco Dragonetti, Anthony Messiner. The volunteer coach, Alan Jackson, Dave Malatesta. Your athletic director of the Franklin Warriors is Ken Margolin. Assistant athletic director, Anthony Brito. And, of course, your trainers, Matthew Elmeyer and Michael Campbell. So we're about to get set for a very pivotal 2-point conversion attempt. You would think, unless they change their mind after the timeout. There's a lot of scouting goes involved here.
I would agree, but just the way that they've been running the ball, I do believe they're going to come out and try this 2-point conversion. Franklin has yet to truly stop them with the power run, especially on 4th and goal.
Well, here we go. They're gonna line up that bull formation again. It's like a T-bone almost. We have 2 fullbacks with George lined up by himself, but the quarterback's going to take it himself, and he will get in for the 2-point conversion. And with 11:51 to go, the Linden Tigers extend their lead to 14-7.
The power of the Linden front line. They pushed Franklin about 5 yards deep into the end zone. This is going to be a battle of wills. it's absolutely going to be a battle of wills. Franklin came back after the last score, went down the field, got a great score. Now let's see what they're going to respond to this with. This could be the moment that, once again, these young men grow up and do things that they didn't even think they could do.
Absolutely right. As the Linden Tigers now will set up to kick off. Keep in mind, folks, the first kickoff went short. Second one was more of a line drive. But they did their homework. Unfortunately, Franklin were on the receiving end of a couple pooch kicks from last week against Bridgewater, which led to quick recoveries by Bridgewater. So I think that's why Linden has been attempting this here early with a now 14-7 lead, 11:51 to go. Dave Sturchill up top in the booth alongside Scott Harrell and our producer, Howard Gaber, here on the HSG Network. Thank you so much for spending your Friday night with us. Beautiful night for football under the Friday night lights. Linden will be kicking this one off left to right. It is a line drive kick once again to the up man. One guy's got to get it. Somebody's got to recover it. Might well sit on that one.
And once again, that ball is slick. I know, ladies and gentlemen, it looks nice out tonight, but there was a torrential rainstorm this morning. That moisture is still on the field, and that is making that ball wet and slippery. We've already had one fumble. We've already had a pass sail way over its target. The field is ripe for more turnovers today.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll find out exactly what kind of offense the Franklin Warriors bring. Remember, they sprung one, Isaiah Solomon, to the house before. Now I formation, receiver now split up to the right, top of your screen. Have a little bit of an H-back as well. Handoff, we're going up the middle. 25 tries to get outside. That's Solomon again, and I think he coughed it up. Solomon coughed it up after a great run before. This could be a killer, and it will go to Linden. That's Solomon on the fumble, recovered by Linden.
Michael Mitchell recovering it, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Please don't call me a prophet, but the ball is slick. The field is slick. Turnovers. You have to secure that ball out here. I don't care how good the night looks. You have to secure it. Franklin lines up on D.
So
here comes Linden, 1st and 10, Dave.
1st and 10, fresh set of downs off the turnover. Linden's going to set up in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 on the bottom. You got a little bit of an H-back. He's going to flush himself. He's going to try to throw across his body. He's got one-on-one coverage, and it's overthrown. No flag. Just an ill-advised pass.
Beautiful defense on that. Defended well by Trahan Taylor, number 4. He's been on several plays already as that touchdown-saving tackle guy, but now he's finally been able to do his job in the secondary, and that's defend a pass well.
Yeah, Shadrick Petit Home was the intended receiver there. Say that name 3 or 4 times fast. But now, 2nd and 10. You know, after the fumble, we saw Solomon throw his gloves off to the sidelines. Remember, those gloves are great when they're dry, but when they're wet, they're slick.
Yeah.
So here we go. It's a handoff. We're going to go jet sweep. Nope, quarterback keeper, but this time wrapped up in the backfield and slammed to the turf.
Oh, my goodness. Number 29 of Franklin, Joshua McDonald, having a Big Mac sack. That's why they call him McDonald, I think. That's going to be a loss of at least 7 yards, maybe 6. But that is exactly what Franklin has needed. They've been getting back there, and now they finally penetrated and stopped one of those runs.
That is a big stop there. McDonald's one of those gritty guys. I remember last summer, one of the hardest working guys on the field at all times, no matter what team he was playing for, 1st string, 2nd string. Didn't matter. A lot of effort out of that kid. So now, 3rd and long. Shotgun set. We got quads. 2 receivers to the top and bottom. Looking left. He's going to hand that off on a delay, and everybody bit. But B.J. George now spilled around the 34-yard line. That's going to bring up a 4th down and a decision here by the Linden Tigers coaching staff, up 14-7, 10-27, and counting here in the 2nd quarter.
Hamid Badru in with company on the stop. It looked like it was about to break big, but the secondary closed and shut that down. This was the first time that Linden was caught in a long yardage situation. Let's see if they're going to try and go for it here, which it looks like.
Right, yep, they're lined up to go for it here. Shotgun set with an H-back off to his right, almost in a tight end, but in the backfield. Quarterback will snap the ball. He's going to hand it off. No, play action pass. He's looking left. He's got a man over there, but a great tackle and drag out of bounds. I think they're going to be short. Yes, they are by a plentiful 5 on the catch there. That was Christian San Clemente, but looks like turnover on downs. Franklin's going to get the ball back.
Isaiah Solomon on the stop, Johnny on the spot. That is exactly what Franklin has needed this entire game to be able to impose their defensive will on this team. Now they got the stop. Let's see if they can get the go.
And it comes from Solomon, the guy who coughed it up before, so that's definitely making up for a little bit of a miscommunication on that last drive. So now Franklin ball. Will the tide turn? We have trips to the top of your screen. Here for Franklin, they're going to take over on their own 23, 1st and 10. It's been a heavy dose of the run, a couple ill-advised passing, but I expect them to try to open it up just a little bit more. Shotgun set. He's going to take the shotgun. He's going to look to his right. He's going to hand the ball off to 42, and 42 is indeed Donnell McQuilla.
Good
Plenty
Lord.
of effort by McQuilla.
Lord. He made it up to the first down and then some, finally spilled by a host of Tigers in the secondary looking for numbers left and right. I believe that's number 4 or 5 or, heck, it was just the entire secondary from the Tigers that were trying to stop that man. Number 7, B.J. George, I believe, was in on that stop with all of his closest secondary friends.
All right, fresh set of downs here for Franklin. I formation, receiver to the top of your screen, and H-back tight end is on the bottom. They're going to hand the ball off. He's going to try to cut left. Got to hold on to that ball as it's getting slick out there. A little jostling in the back, but that was indeed Donnell McQuilla on the carry.
Samir Scott on the stop. They got the penetration over the right side and were able to bottle that run up so it only picked up 1 yard. They're going to have to do something more than just the runs to the side and up the middle. They got to switch it up.
Well, here's the switch up as Ahmad Jaber, that's red. He checks in. He leads the team in receptions with 14 for $153, and he's responsible for maybe one of the better plays of this Franklin Warriors season. Trips to your top of your screen. He is in the slot. Keep your eye on Jaber. Back to pass. He's looking his way. He's going to deliver, and he get hit as he throws, and that's going to be incomplete. Had the right idea. That was intended for a plethora of guys running 5 and outs.
Tigers brought the house, and not just the house, I think half the neighborhood. They all got there in his face right as that pass went up. That could have almost been an interception because it just passed near a linebacker, but that's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
So we're about to find out what Kayvon Gordon has in his arsenal. He is the quarterback and leader of this Franklin Warriors team. It's going to be 3rd and long. Let's see what Coach Ammo dials up here. He's got trips to the top, maybe thinking very similar to the last play despite the hit. Shotgun set. Gordon in the shotgun. He's going to flank out his running back. That's Solomon. We got a flag down, and that one, oh boy, ill-advised, deflected and dropped. But there's a flag down. I'm going to go with illegal motion. Snapping that ball, and that's exactly what it is. Illegal motion on the Franklin Warriors. Solomon was not set. So we'll find out what the coach decides to do. Most likely will decline this one to get them to punt the ball away.
It looks like it. Yep, it's going to bring up 4th and 9, long situation. You know what? Franklin has to get out of constant long yardage. They have to get themselves to a 2nd and 5, a 3rd and 5. If they can get themselves to 5 and manageable, they can keep these drives going. Tigers are just sitting on these long yardage and sniffing out everything they're doing.
So Asari will be punting for the 3rd time. He hasn't got a lot of hang time on these balls, but favorable bounces have gone their way. Let's see what he does here. Good snap. Here comes the rush. He kicks that ball away, and that will take another Franklin Warriors bounce. This one will be downed at the 28-yard line of the Tigers.
Linden, they're playing discipline. They're playing very well. They've had a history for that for a long time, even when I was growing up at one town over in Roselle. Now, if they can just maintain their discipline this half, they can potentially be up another score, possibly 2 more. But you know what? Franklin is showing they're coming to play. They just have to get more consistent and get out of these long yardage situations.
So Linden will get the ball back here in the 2nd quarter. 8:21 to go. The official time is being kept on the field tonight. Linden will line up That's actually one receiver to the top and bottom of your screen. We have a man in motion. Shotgun set. He's going to pitch it out to George, and George is going to get a lane. George is going to get to the 35 and spilled around the 38, close to a first down.
You know, if I have to keep calling this young man's name Trahan Taylor, and he plays in the secondary, he's their leading tackler. That's not supposed to be.
Right.
You gotta get him at the line of scrimmage.
They're getting to the second level very fast, and that's something that you coach in the preseason, you coach during camp, try to make your block, and then get to that second level. But a lot of tackles by one man is just not the right way to go. Two receivers to the bottom of your screen. He's going to hand that ball off to George again. This time he's met at about the 42, and now a host of Warriors bringing him back. But forward progression will get him to the 42-yard line, bringing up second and short.
Joshua McDonald, second man in, stopped him, was able to back them up, at least brought up a 2nd and 4. Let's see if we can now start backing up this Tiger offense. High octane, no doubt. Able to get traction on that ground, no doubt. But Franklin has shown that they have some toughness in there. They got to get the penetration in and get the first hit and get them stopped at the point of attack. They can't keep letting it go up to the secondary.
Scott, we have not seen one pass by Linden tonight, not yet. Shotgun, not one completion, that is, corrected by my producer, Howard Gaber. Timeout, Linden. Feeling the heat here. Second down, we're going to go to break. We'll come back right after this. We're back here at Franklin High School. Coming off a timeout, there is 7 minutes on the clock before we head to halftime. Dave Sturcio alongside Scott Harrell. Scott, it's Scott Harrell's here next to me doing the color commentary here on the HSG Network. Brought to you by, tonight, the Franklin High School Booster Club. We pay for things they can. And, of course, Howard Gaber is our producer of the HSG Network. So now second down and about 6. Shotgun set, 2 receivers to the top of your screen. 1 receiver bottom, split back. He's going to hand that ball off to George. No, he's not. Again, got me again. And he gets it out to the 40, about the 47, 46-yard line. But that was Zion Marshall again. We said it before, 352 yards coming into this one. We got to keep our eyes on the quarterback, Scott.
Yes, we do. And he was chased out of bounds by number 17, Aliu Conte.
Aliu? That's my man.
All right. Far be it from me to, say his name wrong. But Aliu at least chased him out of bounds. But once again, we're having too many touchdown-saving moments. They're not bottling him up at the point of attack.
So we are at first down, Oh, here we go. A little movement there. We're going to get the call.
It's going to be against Franklin, Dave.
That is offsides again. A little lack of discipline there. They got to get on their case and get on it now. Because with down 14-7 here with the Linden Tigers driving, you just don't want any more mistakes.
Absolutely. And, Dave, this game is still close. It is still winnable. It is still doable. They can't let these things start to creep in, and then you start seeing the drooped shoulders, the hung head, and they're already defeated.
Absolutely. Second down now and 5 after the encroachment penalty by Franklin. Shotgun set. He's going to hand that ball off to George. George is going to try to get outside. He gets outside and gets some more, and he's going to have about a 7-yard gain, and that's another Linden first down.
Linden first down, taken down by number 14, Isaiah Kinsler. That was number 14, Isaiah Kinsler. And now we have number 76, Marcus Estevez, coming out. I'm not sure you're taking your biggest piece out of the middle that was getting some penetration.
Well, if you could see it from the sidelines right now, he has a Gatorade bottle down his throat. He's got to be gassed. He's been out there both sides of the ball.
Did
is
he
Marcus
bother to
Estevez.
open it?
Probably not.
Okay.
Shotgun set, man in motion, and we got a little bit of a false start here. That's going to come back, and we're going to get those 5 yards back.
All right.
1st and 15 that'll bring up. They were doing a jet sweep motion. The running back just moved just a little early.
Franklin will take the yardage any way they can get it. And you know what? At this point, let's be honest. Once again, this game is very winnable. Franklin is still in it. They can't let undisciplined play come into play now just because they look at the scoreboard and see double digits against single digits. If they stop this drive right here, this game could be tied by halftime.
Very true. 1st and 15 here from the 40-yard line. Trying to get extra signals from the sidelines. Shotgun set with an H-back. Also a tailback split to his right. And now, they're all sorts of confused, and the coach is on fire on the other side of the sidelines. We're going to stay here as a timeout, Linden. So, Scott, now obviously with a 1st and 15, 5:46 to go on the clock. All 2 timeouts left, I believe, for Franklin as they used one earlier. So are you conservative on the defensive approach? Are you just looking to try to get out of Dodge and go to halftime and reassess? Or are we bringing the heat and we're getting that ball back and try to score before halftime? How would you approach this?
I'm absolutely bringing the heat because it's not just about the fact that we want the ball back. I have to show my team that I'm confident in their ability. They've shown sparks of brilliance and growth, but those sparks have to catch fire now. And this is the fire that the coach has to fan into a flame. Bring the heat. Show them that, yes, I believe in your blitz. I believe in your ability. Go get them.
So 1st and 15 now. We're going to have trips to the bottom of your screen. Looks like Linden's coming out not to play around as well. They might finally take it to the air. Shotgun set, running back offset to his left. One receiver by himself to the top of your screen. Man in motion again, looking for that jet sweep. They fake the jet sweep, and they give it off to the tailback. And that's B.J. George once again, this time to the 25-yard line, close to another, if not, a 1st down. And, yep, they're going to move those chains. 1st down, Linden.
Finally taken down by number 26, Shakuna Kamara. I'm not going to say touchdown-saving tackle anymore. I think I've used it up for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, just like they get 3 timeouts, you get 3 of those.
I
got 8 or 9 here we goes. So.
Well, at least we haven't used the shot yourself in the foot yet, so I'm going to start taking some of those. But, my goodness, if your men in the secondary are leading in tackles, we got problems.
Yeah, so 1st down here, trips to your top of your screen. That's going to be another handoff to George with a lot of blocking by your receiving core. And that's another 12-yard gain. These are big chunks of yards by Linden and B.J. George.
Trajan Taylor, in on the stop. It's going to bring up another 1st down, but it just appears that the battle of wills is going towards Linden, and they're starting to wear down that Franklin defense. If they can get a stop, a turnover, a sack here, it could possibly put some more wind in their sails, some more gas in their tank, but they got to do something.
Yeah, 4:47 and running. 1st down, fresh set of downs here for Linden. Who else? B.J. George gets the rock up to about where it looks like he's going to be stopped around the 6-yard line. Brought down by a host, and here comes big Marcus Estevez checking back into this game.
Oh, there goes the Gatorade for most of the county. Joshua McDonald was in on that stop with all of his closest friends. At least that's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. Franklin has to stop them from scoring. They have to stop them from scoring here. They can't go into this halftime down 21-7.
It remains to be seen what they dial up here on now 2nd down and short. They can get a 1st down without scoring, so keep that in mind, folks. Shotgun set. He's going to hand that ball off once again, cutting outside. This time he's spilled in the backfield.
That's number 9, Hamid Badru, being a bad man in that backfield.
Tell you what, the Badrus are just that's a family that we'll be calling for the next 10 years. I mean, there's just so many of them. But I'm telling you, they're all equally skilled, and a great stop there, bringing up.
That should be 3rd down, shouldn't it?
2nd down. That was 1st and goal. I mean, that was 1st and I don't. You know what? You might be right, Scott. I think they might have something off. It should be 3rd down, I believe. But anyway, We cannot.
Yeah, there it
they
is.
just switched it over. Big third down stop here. They're going to hand it off to George this time. No, it's the quarterback again. Got me for a third time to the. Oh, he's going to be close. Going to be close to a first down. Remember, I said they can get a first down without scoring, and that is very close to that first down. We'll find out where they spot it.
Badrew and company was in on that tackle. It looks like it's going to be a little short of the first down, Dave.
You want to talk about a gut check time. If this is fourth down, they're going to say, I believe they're sending in their field goal unit.
Really? I'm shocked. They've had.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We're going to get it's first and goal. It was a little late delayed on the flip of the chart there, the chain gang. I'm going to blame him. I'm not taking any blame for that.
Why would you, sir? You are the legend.
So here we go now. First and goal. They give him a first down on that run. That was a backbreaker. But now Franklin has to – it's gut check time for the Franklin Warriors defensive line. That big formation, he's up. He's stood up big time by a host of Warriors.
Just by the way that moved, I'm going to make a bet that Estevez somewhere in there was chewing on a man's leg.
Marcus Estevez, one of the premier defensive tackles on this Franklin Warrior squad. He is a large individual. It is going to be very hard to get by him. And not for nothing. Listen, I've seen him work. I've seen him work in the offseason. I've seen him work in the preseason. And now going forward, he can move. For the size that he is, he can move. He gets penetration in the backfield. He can chase down a couple running backs.
It is frightening how fast a 300-pound man can move when given motivation.
Two fullbacks, one tailback, and that is B.J. George. Quarterback looking for a sneak. Second effort. And that is going to be a Linden Tiger touchdown.
Touchdown Tigers.
That is Zion Marshall, the quarterback. Looked like he had nowhere to go at first, but then second effort found the hole, and now 20-7 is the score with 2:16 to go here in the first half. That's a killer.
Well, it is if 2 minutes, 16 seconds to go, now let's see, we're about to do an extra point.
This is, again, these extra points have not been gimmies here. So 36 will attempt this one. That is Rafael Martinez on to attempt the extra point. Good snap, good hold. It is up, and it is through and true. It is 20-7. We're going to go to break here with the score 21-7 in favor of the Linden Tigers. We are back here, Franklin High School. Dave Sturcio alongside Scott Harrell and, of course, our producer, Howard Gaber. Tonight's broadcast is being brought to you by the Franklin High School Booster Club. We pay for things they can't, and obviously we want to give a special shout-out to the Franklin Advocate for sponsoring last week's game. I know we're bringing them on back for next week's home affair. Or going forward against Piscataway. Either way, thank you so much to the Franklin Advocate. So we'll find out here what Linden wants to do, but now with the score 21-7, Scott, how do you approach this next drive with 2 timeouts to go with 2:16 to go on the clock?
We have to take this down the field. We have to take it down quick, fast, in a hurry, and I want to score. And you know why? Because at this point, we don't want to go into the half so deflated and just allowing this team to believe that 7 points was all we're going to do for this game.
Taken at the 15, he's going to find a wall of blockers, but then he's also going to find a wall of Tigers, and it will be brought down at the 25. You said it right now, 26 on the return, and that was, again, Shakuna Kamara. So now, aggressive or not, you got to keep this in mind. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go, 2 timeouts, but more importantly, Scott, the Linden Tigers get the ball to receive in the second half. So this is one of those things you gotta try to string a little something together here.
Absolutely, and you got to answer back just the way they did in the first quarter. The Franklin has to answer back for what's happened with the most recent score. 1st and 10.
Here we go. I formation. Do they keep it conservative? Out to the left side. He's going to find a little daylight up to about the 30-yard line. Let's see what kind of up-tempo they go with. 1:59 and counting. No timeout going to be taken here. That was 22. Isaiah Solomon on the carry. Isaiah Solomon is responsible for the Franklin Warriors touchdown on a phenomenal run up the gut with a lot of speed burst. Held down that R2 button, and he was gone.
Yeah, I believe that was number 68 in on the tackle. Number 68, possibly a 48, maybe a 58.
There we go. So trips to the top of your screen. It looks like they're going to try to maybe spread out this receiving core. Good snap. Hand off to the right side. They're going to try to take a page out of the Linden book. 42's off to the races. He's got a little bit of a step. He's going to keep going, and he will be spilled at around the 43-yard line. That is Donnell McQuilla. Once again, first down. Franklin Warriors, 1:19 to go and ticking away.
And, Dave, you know what? Finally, we get to say the Tigers had a touchdown-saving tackle in their secondary. Franklin is on the move, but they need to keep the pace up right now.
1:14 and counting. They're going to split the receivers all the way down. Trips to your left of your screen. The quarterback by himself with a running back next to him. They're going to hand the ball off again. This is McQuilla trying to find some daylight. Remember, he came on in the fourth quarter last game, and he's going to he's not going to get out of bounds. The referee's going to keep going with the clock, and this will lead, hopefully, into a timeout, and yes, it will. Timeout taken by Franklin here.
No.
Wait. Yep, timeout Franklin. We're going to go, why not talk about a little bit about the Linden coaching staff. Their head coach, Al Chiola, assistant coaches, Anthony Reynoso, Al Reynoso, looks like the Reynoso brothers getting to work. Assistant coaches, Jimmy Smith, Terrence Brown, Luke Jarmolowski, Michael Pazaic, Will Ingram. The freshman coaches, Alvaro Fernandez, Chris Corsali. Middle school, there's a lot of coaches here. I just keep going. Frank Hausenauer, Michael Marino, no relation to Dan, I don't think. Head trainers, Roger Rotundi. Assistant trainers, Michelle Duellet, Andrea Figueroa. No, that's not Figueroa. Figueredo. And Samantha Gem and Noel Sullivan. A lot of coaches over there, a lot of support for the Linden Tigers as we are now getting set for second down and short after the run by Donnell McQuilla.
On that last stop was number 3, Nashawn Holmes, who has three and a half sacks on the season, and he's next in line for the most tackles.
51 seconds to go. One timeout remaining for the Franklin Warriors. Let's see what they do here. They got quads finally. They're going to split them out. And now, look at this. Getting outside, trying to find some daylight. He's not going to find much. He's going to go down in a hurry, and he's got to get on the ball here. There is 39 seconds and ticking away, 3rd and long. You don't want to clock it. You do want to run a play. They do have a timeout remaining, and oh, no, he takes a knee, and he doesn't clock it. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. That is just a mental lapse on that one. Obviously, they're telling him
the clock is still running.
Yeah, they're telling him to clock it, and now a 4th down. They can't do anything. I don't know what they're doing here.
If they clock
they don't know the down. Coach Pacheco, oh, boy. It's just a miscommunication on the part of Kayvon Gordon and company. On 4th down, they take a knee, or they clocked the play on 4th down. They just didn't know. It was just a miscommunication by the Franklin Warriors, and that's that. Unfortunately for them. But now 13 seconds to go. You can't assume that they're going to be too aggressive here on the Linden side of things. But, oh, boy.
They're definitely going to try and take this 2-score lead into the half. It's unfortunate how that drive, which was moving forward, came to an end. But once again, as we said, coming into the game, this is a team that Franklin is building on. They have a lot of young players, a lot of new talent, coaching and player-wise.
Yeah, all right. I'm sorry. I just not to interrupt you, but it looks like they're going to get a replay of the 4th down because of a penalty, a pre-snap penalty. So if anything, that's a break. And look at this. They're lining up. Linden defense not even on the field right now.
Wow.
So trying to catch them snoozing here, Mayweather style. And it looks like Linden will be burning a timeout, you would hope. But after that, I mean, that's a little miscommunication here on the part of Franklin. They're going to back him up 5 yards, so a 4th and very long. And it looks like they're going to go for broke here, being down 21-7, 13 seconds to go.
You might as well.
So a couple ill-advised communication errors. And look at Linden still struggling to get the right personnel on the field. This might be the chance for Franklin to catch him sleeping with the wrong guys on the field at the time. Shotgun set, quads lined up, 2 receivers up, 2 receivers on the bottom. Back to pass is Kayvon. He's looking, he's flushed. He got hit as he throws, but he's got a man deep. Oh, he was not playing the ball. He was not playing the ball, no call. And that is a rough one.
That is a rough one. I have to admit it. He was not playing. He played right through the receiver. That was number 7 of Linden.
We're looking at the replay here in our booth, and yeah, I mean, the rules state you have to turn around, play the ball, at least turn your helmet around, and there was no such thing on that play. Looks like the Franklin Warriors robbed of that one. With 2 seconds to go, you would assume Linden's going to sit on this one and go to halftime. But wow, that was a big non-call there by the referees.
After all of that, you almost think that the refs just want to get this half done. But, you know, on one hand, there are some times when you want them to swallow the whistle. That's a flag you want thrown.
So here we go. They're lined up in the victory formation just to get it to halftime. So at halftime, 21-7 in favor of the Linden Tigers. Your thoughts for the first half?
You know, Franklin has shown a lot of flashes of brilliance, a lot of talent there. They just have to get continuity. We've seen breakdowns and drives multiple times here.
Solo. So here we go. Again, maybe that's the 10th, 11th. Listen, here we go is a big thing for me. I'm going to trademark it eventually, and I'll get paid just like, you know, Michael Buffer, Bruce Buffer have the let's get rid of the rumbles or it's time. Well, here we go could be my thing. So, yeah, like my producer, Howard Gaber, in my ear saying, welcome to the end zone. That's already been copyrighted by Tom Wilkins, and I will be charged 25 cents to his fundraiser that he's trying to raise funds with to the Carolinas relief. So Tom Wilkins back with the HSG Network next week up in the booth with Scott Harrell. I will be on assignment in Philadelphia. The power team of Scott Harrell and Tom Wilkins. So here we are ready for the second half kickoff. The Franklin Warriors kicking right to left. Linden in their away whites will take, and oh, look at this, a little pooch kick to the up man. Let's see if they can get a head out of hat here. Oh. Much like anything else, that is the risk that goes involved with that. That's returned by number 8, Samir Scott.
And taken down by number 9, of which I have 2. So we're going to go with Hamid Badru. And once again, that's the danger with a trick play because you can trick yourself out of an opportunity.
Well, now let's see what the Franklin Warriors defensive unit brings here on 1st and 10. Shotgun set, H-back to his right, tailback behind him. 2 receivers, 1 to the top, 1 to the bottom. We're going to get a handoff to George right up the middle, and he'll be stuffed after about a 1.5 to 2 yard gain. They're going to give him 2 on the forward progress here.
Isaiah Solomon on the stop, and this is exactly what I was talking about. It looks to me like Linden is being a little bit conservative, wanting to protect the ball, but this is where Franklin has to take advantage at right now. Make their stops, put them in long yardage situations, stop the drive, and take control of this game.
Yeah, nothing will mean more to this Franklin defense if they can get a quick 3 and out to get that ball back. So now let's see what Linden dials up. They're going to go quads here. 2 receivers to the top, 2 on the bottom. Shotgun set, George to his right. Shotgun handoff to George right up the gut, and George is going to break loose to the 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, B.J. George. Touchdown, Linden.
Outrunning everyone all the way down to the end zone. That was a hole that you could drive a truck through. Oh, my goodness.
That truck was named B.J. George because he took it right up the gut, and that's a killer. I mean, again, one of those things you want to establish something in the first possession of the second half. and that is not the way you want to start it off. But an extra point attempt here for Linden.
And especially with such an excellent stop on the first down and then to let the run go all the way to the house on the second. Here's your extra point.
Rafael Martinez has been perfect other than a block. Kick is up and is good. 28-7 now, Linden with 10:59 to go here in the third quarter. One possession in the third quarter, 2-play drive. That is a killer, but it's up to Franklin to rebound a little bit.
You've worked with these young men. You've trained with these young men. You coached them. You know how much desire and drive they have in their heart. I'm sure down 3 scores hurts, but at the same time, you tell me, because I believe from what I see on the sideline, they're looking to come out there and do something right now.
I mean, look, we've said it time and time again. They are a second-half team. Obviously, that's not the way you want to start off a second half. We all know this. But I like this Franklin team. They're a young, hungry group. I like how they play 4 quarters of football. They never give up, and they play until the last whistle in that fourth quarter. So let's see what they do here on the assuming kickoff from Linden. 2 guys back. Number 1 will be kicking this one off. That is Shadrach Petit Holm will be kicking this one off to the 2 stars of the Franklin offense, one being Donnell McQuilla, and the other one, Shakina Kamara. Kickoff end over end will be received at around the 9-yard line, taken to about the 15 to the 20, not much more than that, from 25, and that is Kamara on the return as the Franklin offense takes the field for the first time in the second half, down now 28-7.
Taking over 1st and 10, perfect opportunity now. If they can come back, punch back, start making a presence on this field on the second half, they can claw their way back into this game. It's going to be an uphill battle, but they have to establish their will somewhere. This would be the perfect drive to do it.
I expect a heavy dose of Kayvon Gordon to let that ball rip. Trips down to his bottom of your screen. They're going to look that way. That's going to be Red. Red Jaber, nowhere to go. Spilled in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of plenty.
It looked like number 18, Joshua Delacruz, in on the tackle from Linden. You called his name earlier. It's about time he got involved. I wouldn't doubt that even though it was for a loss, we're going to see Red catch more balls.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a game changer. He's a multi-position individual. He knows what he's doing. He knows the offense. This is his second year in this system. So, and now he's actually coming off the field, so I guess it's a little bit more of a heavier run option here. So now second, very long after a loss of about 7. 2nd and 17 now. Shotgun trips to the top of your screen. Gordon in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looking right. Over the middle, and it's batted down by one of those bear paws right up the gut.
Good Lord, one of those beasts just reaching out there trying to grab a flying steak flying by.
That's a Joshua De La Cruz on the deflection.
Didn't I just call his name before? Joshua De La Cruz. Hold on one second. I want to make sure I have his number right.
Yep, 17.
17.
18.
Or really?
Joshua De La Cruz, yep.
18.
All right, now, we're 3rd and very long, a country mile. We'll find out what these guys decide to draw up here. Coach Amoroso has plays for these downs and distances as we visited them way too many times last year. So now trips to your top of your screen. Gordon in a shotgun with an extra blocker in his back, and he's going to drop the snap rather. Takes it himself, calls his own number. He's got to make something out of nothing. Gets to the 31-yard line for a 4th and 9.
Played a little Houdini there. Number 3, Nashawn Holmes getting in on the hit with a host of friends. Got some of that yardage back, but it's still going to be 4th and long. And it looks like it's going to go over to the special teams, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, got to play the field position game at this point. Right now, down 28-7. You don't want to get things out of control, even if they seem like they are already. You want to punt this ball back, get your defense back on the field, and see what happens from there. So now a snap, and we got a little bit of motion on that front line. Offensive line jumped just a little too early, and it looks to be a false start backing them up just a little bit more. Oh, boy.
Yeah, this Franklin doesn't want to break down on discipline. You don't want to – that's one of the signs that starts to produce themselves. If you start to mentally give up, you start to mentally have lapses out there. This is not the time for that. You're not giving away the game.
So now 4th and about 12. 9:02 remaining here in the third quarter. Franklin down 28-7 to the Linden Tigers. Linden coming in 19th in the state. So definitely one of your top-notch teams, top 25 in the state. Good snap. He's going to get that ball. He's going to shank it.
I think that
no hang time on that one.
I think that kick was almost to us.
It looked like in the direction, but they're going to spot that one at the Franklin 43-yard line. Not the greatest punt, but we're going to get the Franklin defense back. Looking ahead, this Franklin team obviously struggling right now, but looking ahead to the Franklin upcoming schedule. Yeah, we got Ridge at home, so obviously they're going to stay home for the next two, actually. Ridge at home next week, and then the following week they're going to have Elizabeth, and then back on the road for Plainfield, Hunterdon Central, and then obviously the HSG Network will bring you Thanksgiving Day football against Piscataway. But 1st and 10, finally taking it to the air, and maybe that's why they don't throw enough. Way, way over the head of the receiver that was intended for number 12, Destin Sycon. 6'1", my goodness.
Defended well, step for step by a Sarah Bampo Perry, number 28. And that's the way a pass should be defended, not to, rehash how we saw that last play at the end of the first half.
Yeah, we don't want to cry over spilled milk or sour grapes on that one. But, yeah, looks like the referees obviously missed the call towards the end of the first half. But we digress with that one as it's 2nd down and 10. 2 receivers split to the top of your screen, 1 to your bottom. In the shotgun, hand off to George. He's been getting that ball a lot. And George now, what a jump step to the outside.
Ooh.
Gets to the outside and close to a first down. Great. What a way to stop and go.
I mean,
my goodness.
He has some brakes built into those ankles. Trajan Taylor in on the tackle. I'm not going to say touchdown saving, but if it weren't for him, I think he wouldn't be stopping until he made the highway.
You would think that B.J. George, we don't have the stats in front of us, but you would think he is coming up on the century mark for the day, close to 100 yards of offense. He's been getting that ball a lot, maybe even closer to 150. We'll find out later on in the post game. But here we go, a shotgun, hand off to George, right up the gut this time. Finds his way, but gets himself a fresh set of downs as he will get the first down on that 3rd and short.
Taken down by number 29, Joshua McDonald. He may not have supersized that hit, but he definitely at least brought that run to a stop quick, fast, in a hurry.
I like it. McDonald, like I said, one of the hardest working guys on that defense. He's always in on every play. He's got an engine that just doesn't give up. Fuel tank always full. So it's good effort there by McDonald there. So now shotgun, 1st down, fresh set of downs, 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Another handoff to George, up the gut, and this one will go for about 6 more yards. You gotta get an answer to George here.
You have to get an answer to George, and he's just dragging Franklin lineman with him at this point. And now they're bringing in, and that's exactly what I would expect. They're bringing in Estevez because you're not going to drag Estevez anywhere.
No, you're not. So now, as you know, I'm taking a look at the stat sheet here and the upcoming schedule for a Linden team who are coming off a couple convincing wins. B.J. George is on pace for 1,000 yards this year, so he's having himself one heck of a start to the season. But now, speaking of the devil, we have up the gut and nowhere to go because of who? Well, that's actually McDonald again, I believe. I know how he walks.
That's McDonald, but when you clog that middle by putting that big Estevez there, that
right.
hole isn't there anymore for him to run through, and everybody can get there and make that stop. That's what they've needed all game long, so that runner isn't making it to the second level and breaking off 7, 8, 12 yards a rush.
7, 8, 12. All right. 3rd down and short. Now, this is actually a very big play for the Franklin Warrior defense. You got to make a stop here. You got to not have them come off with some points on the board. So now, Marshall in the shotgun. He's going to hand that ball off. Nope. This time he keeps it himself. Look at this. Again, up the gut. He's going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Linden.
Oh, my goodness. Had everybody, including us, tricked.
Again,
once
that's like the fourth time he's messed with my mind there.
It's just not fair. At this point, it's just not fair. It's hurting my eyes. I'm trying to figure out who has the ball.
And that touchdown was brought to you by the Franklin High School Booster Club. We pay for things they can't. And unfortunately now, 34-7 with 5:39 remaining in the third quarter. So things getting a little out of hand here in Somerset. We'll find out if they have an answer for any of this as the Warriors will come back on the offense after this extra point attempt. Snap, down, good. Snap, good. Kick, good. Field goal. We're going to go to break. 35-7, Linden. We're back here as the assuming kickoff. We got a very special guest we're about to introduce to you, but first we're going to get this kickoff return to about the 25. I am joined by the Franklin Booster's very own Marissa Gallagher. Marissa, pleasure to have you up here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for so much for joining us. I mean, talk to me a little bit about what's been happening with Franklin Boosters. I mean, I work in the district. We all work in the district here. We would love to find out a little bit more. Please tell us.
So the Booster Club right now is in a growth process. So we're looking for new members to help us grow. We're expanding down into the middle school, so we want to help cover high school and middle school sports. We're all about enhancing sports in Franklin, and we are helping the teams pay for things that the district cannot pay for. So when a team has a need, they come to us, and we help them either raise the money, or if we have it in our budget, we can gift them the money.
All right, a handoff there to Solomon, a little bit of a loss here. The game obviously not going our way tonight, but please tell us about some of the future things that we can look forward to as far as what kind of promotions to raise this money. What are we looking at?
So in the spring, last year we had our very first Franklin Food Truck Festival. It was super successful.
I like food.
We're going to have another one in May. It's going to be bigger and better. We're going to have a live band. We're going to have 20 food trucks. We're going to have vendors. It's going to be a great day.
That's incredible. Back to the game action for just a second here as a handoff to Donnell McQuilla, sorry. And it will be spilled there as bringing up a 3rd and long. Now, you talked to us about, these boosters and the events. Obviously, with the fall being just now kind of starting. The fall's here. You're talking to us a little bit about the spring. Can we expect anything going on in the fall, winter?
So
anything more kind of closer to the time?
So in the fall and the winter, right now we run the concession stand during all home football games. That's our biggest fundraiser for the fall. In the winter, we probably will have some 50-50 sales at some of the basketball games. We sell Franklin Spirit Wear. We got a great selection tonight at all the home football games. We'll post it on Facebook. We're going to have online sales.
I'm going to have to get involved in some of that Spirit gear. I lack that. So real quick, 3rd down and long situation here for the Franklin Warriors, trailing 35-7, 3:52 to go. He's looking in the air. He's going to get away from 1, get away from 2, trying to call his own number. And unfortunately, just a gain of about 1, bringing up 4th down. What else you got for us here? I mean, I found out at halftime you were coming on up, so I was excited to find out more about the stuff. The reason why we're on the air right now is because of the Franklin Booster Club.
Yep. So right now the Booster Club is funding the Huddle program, which is for all the athletes. It's a video program that helps them make highlights. They can send it to colleges. All the colleges use it, and it's really user friendly.
Yeah, I learned a little bit about Huddle last year. I was a part of the Franklin football coaching staff, so Huddle was my thing. They made me do a whole bunch of stuff on Huddle, which is great, and it's great that you are supporting the football team. This is a very up-and-coming football team. A lot of young guys on this squad, great coaching staff. So obviously, besides Huddle, anything else going on you want to fill us in on? Because look, there's viewers, and there's going to be a lot of people listening in tonight later on as all these kids get home and want to see themselves on film. But the parents want to hear a little bit more about you guys.
So we're also funding an NCAA recruiting software this year. It's new for this year. It's going to help the parents and the teachers keep track of the student-athletes' grades so that they can make sure that they're on track for playing sports on a secondary level if that's what they choose to do. It makes it a little bit less manual and more automatic and more real time, that they can see where their grades are and make sure they're in line with where they need to be.
Yeah, because believe it or not, these student athletes, they have to get good grades in order to keep this up. So a very kudos to the Booster Club for also improving on that kind of software. And you said it best, automated. So it's something that nobody has to do anything. It's all taken care of.
Yep.
But definitely tell us more.
So at the end of every season, we host an awards ceremony for all the teams. So we get at the end of the fall season, we'll get all the fall teams together. We provide desserts and light beverages during that. Listen to some of the great things that our athletes have done. We have so many talented athletes here in Franklin, and it's amazing at the end of every season when I get to see them all in a room and hear about everything that they've done.
Yeah, I mean, all of the sports here at Franklin, they're long seasons. These kids, they put in a lot of work, a lot of man hours. They're beating themselves up, and they deserve to be rewarded, regardless of your win-loss record and your standings in the conferences and all that. So it's obviously a pleasure to have you up here. And if you have anything else for us, we would definitely like to hear some more.
One more thing. So right now we're in the process of trying to garner more sponsorship.
Okay.
So you can see in the one end zone under the scoreboard, we have some sponsor banners there. It costs $500 for the whole season. I'm sorry, for the whole school year. My apologies. $500 for the whole school year. We'll move your banner from the football stadium to the basketball stadium to the baseball stadium, and it comes with us wherever we go from event to event. So if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, you can contact us. Our email is franklinwabc@gmail.com. Or you can contact us through Ken Margolin, who's the athletic director at Franklin High School.
All right. Well, that seems like a plethora of information for all of us to digest here at the HSG Network, along with all the viewers in Franklin Township. I'm telling you right now, the sponsors is a big thing, because it's like you said, it's not just for football. You're moving these banners here and there. That's a lot of exposure for these potential sponsors coming on in.
It is a lot of exposure. We get a lot of people to come to see the basketball games, especially the girls basketball team, which is a championship team.
Phenomenal.
On and on. We expect another championship this year from them.
High expectations here in Franklin.
I do have one more thing.
Yeah.
Every year, the Booster Club hands out $4,000 in scholarships to graduating student athletes. So that's for athletes that are moving on to the next level. We award eight $500 scholarships, so totaling $4,000 every year.
I mean, that's phenomenal. A lot of these guys are coming out with going to college and wanting to pursue that. A financial burden is always on these kids, and I know that's a stressor. So for you guys to step up to the plate and help them, that's a phenomenal thing.
Yep.
Marissa, thank you so much for joining us tonight for this Friday Night Lights affair. And obviously, anything, plug your website away just so they can, one more time, so the viewers at home can check you guys out.
So we are on the Franklin BOE website. If you go to Franklin High School and then click on athletics, you can find us by, I think it says Franklin Booster Club. So Franklin BOE Athletics, Franklin High School Athletics, Franklin Booster Club. And our email address is franklinwabc@gmail.com.
Marissa, thank you so much for all that information. It's an awesome thing you guys are doing for the Franklin Sports and Athletic Department. As the third quarter ends, we are going to also stay here as the fourth quarter begins. The score is now 35-7. We're going to bring back in Scott Harrell. Thank you so much again, Marissa, for your time.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that. We appreciate all the information that you've given to us. And like she said multiple times, check out the website, check out franklinboe.org for all your information. And you know what? If you're down here, which, again, is one of the most gorgeous nights for football, if you're in the area right now listening to the sound of my voice, come next week for the home games. The concession stand's open. They got food. They got merchandise. I myself am going to check out and get a hoodie because it's starting to get a little colder out here than I thought originally.
Next week is homecoming.
Homecoming,
and
you're right.
Senior night for our football seniors.
Well, there you go. There's no better night to join the Franklin Warriors than on homecoming night. Marissa, thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So here we go now. Scott's going to come on back. Thank you so much to Marissa Gallagher of the Franklin Booster Club. Remember, these are the guys that put this product on the field. And now we're going to resume some football calling action here. Franklin on the defensive side. Second down as we start the fourth quarter here. Shotgun set, quads again, 2 receivers to the top, 2 receivers to the bottom, but they are being used as blockers all night as another handoff to B.J. George. Scott, welcome back. What have you seen as you know, I was talking to Marissa. Obviously, we're focusing in on the game, but if anything that you picked up on.
Well, what I can see is that Linden has gone very conservative. They're trying just now to keep the ball, wind the clock. Franklin is doing everything they can to try and strip the ball, get a turnover, get the ball back, just trying to get another opportunity on offense. And right now, Linden is playing very disciplined ball, protecting it, and trying to keep their drive alive and keeping that clock ticking just so they can go home with another win.
As the floor underneath us is about to break down and the booth goes bye-bye, we'll find out what happens right after this. Now, here's another handoff to George. He's been – I'm sorry. Look at this. Another fake, and he's going down the field. Another incompletion. Not sure if he has a completion on the day. Intended for number 18, and that is Joshua De La Cruz. You've been calling his name quite some times.
Absolutely. I'm surprised. And once again, Linden has been doing excellent with their misdirection. They've been misdirecting us all game long.
I'm usually not this bad, but my eyes have deceived me tonight. Their play-action pass and their run-pass options have definitely got me fooled up here. And if I'm fooled up here, you know darn well the Franklin Warriors are fooled down there.
Absolutely.
So it was, I got to clean that up.
It takes a very disciplined team to pull off a play-action pass that fools everybody.
Right.
They've been doing that all game long.
Absolutely. Now, 4th down and about 5. They're going to bring the punt team on. 2 returners back for Franklin. Snap, good snap. Good punt with some air under it. That's going to go, and that's going to be muffed, and a big muff. You can't advance a muff. You got to recover it first, kid. There you go. That'll be down around the 4-yard line. You got to.
That almost looked like one of those holy rollers right there.
Yeah, good thing for Shakuna Kamara with the heads-up play after it went off the fingertips of Donnell McQuilla.
Yeah, trying to get it closer to the end zone any way he could. Franklin did finally recover it, but in the shadow of their own goalposts.
Yeah, not the way you want to start off another drive. But now down 35-7 here with 10:52 to go. Here to play at Franklin High School. What do you dial up? Do you find out what you have in a certain different packages? I mean, right now they might try to be a little bit more conservative, trying to give himself a little breathing room. I formation, 1st and 10. Their own 4-yard line, handoff, going right up the gut, trying to follow a wall of blockers. And he does just that for about a gain of just about 2 is Donnell McQuilla.
Smacked down over the right-hand side. I'm trying to look for that young man's number. I believe that was number 9, Ramo Julius, just knocking the numbers off people. Good Lord.
So just a little bit of breathing room is exactly what they needed right there. Now they have the ball 2nd down on their own 6. They move it up 2.
Dave, the playbook is wide open at this point.
At this point, yeah. I mean, you can find out what you have on the outsides, and we'll find out what kind of receiving core these guys have, because right now, 3, we got trips down to the right, actually quads to your right if you count the H-back. But now an ill-advised snap, and that ball's going to be recovered. Oh, boy. You got to stomp upstairs because, folks, that is recovered. No sign yet, but now a recovery by Linden. Oh, boy.
Recovery on the 1-yard line, no less, Dave. Looking for that number. I believe that was number 9. Once again, Ramo Julius.
Called his number a couple times in that drive alone.
Oh, my goodness.
Linden is set up with 0 real estate in front of him. All they got to do is kind of lean forward, and you got yourselves another touchdown with 10 minutes to go here in the fourth.
And we know they have the front line to lean forward and push an entire D-line back into the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate turn of events there with a shotgun snap going ill-advised, a little low. I would assume that's Z, still center for the starting center for the Franklin Warriors. Anthony Sullivan got to get that straightened up. But now, that bull formation with 2 fullbacks, 1 tailback, and B.J. George. Hand off B.J. George, and he'll be wrapped up. And that's not B.J. George for the first time. That is Samir Scott. And it's a touchdown for Linden, and that touchdown brought to you by the Franklin High School Booster Club. We pay for things they can't, and that's going to bring the score to 41-7 with 9:53 to go. It's getting ugly here in Somerset.
And I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, but, it's one thing they've done last week is they kept fighting, and that's how you get your points up, and that's how you get your confidence built, even in a route like this.
Absolutely. He was wrapped up before he crossed the line, but it was that second and third and fourth effort that got him across. That's what Franklin is learning from this. They're witnessing it. It's happening to them. They're going to get their turn.
So here we go now with the extra point to follow the touchdown. 41-7, 9:53 to go. Snap down, hold good, kick up and true and through. 42-7. We're going to stay here going forward. I mean, you're looking at this Linden team, and they're a force right now. I mean, they've been blowing teams out. Plainfield 42-7. Before that, they took out Elizabeth, and they took out Westfield. They're on a 3-game winning streak, looking to make it 4 here tonight. But next week, they're staying on the road as they visit Watchung, and then they're home for South Plainfield, home for Hillsborough, finish up the season at Ridge. And, of course, they also have a Thanksgiving game against Union, and that's in Union. So Linden has been a force today. Obviously, this is a lot of a learning experience for this Franklin team. We talked about it in the pregame. It's a young team. It's a young team. We've seen them get down but never out. I've watched them 2 weeks ago. They had Hillsborough on the ropes. A comeback effort towards the end of the game, 5-point loss. I mean, it's getting closer and closer to something real good happening for this Franklin team. So right now, yes, the score doesn't show good effort, but these guys are not going to quit on you.
Absolutely. The saying goes, to be the best, you have to beat the best. And sometimes along the way, you get beaten by the best. But a saying that I have in my house, Dave, I taught my son this, there's no such thing as losing. You either win or you learn. And as long as these young men are learning, they are definitely going to win.
Yeah, I mean, this coaching staff is in their second year right now together, at least Coach Pechkowski, Amoroso. These guys they're gonna iron some stuff out. They're gonna find out what they have on both sides of the ball, all 3 phases of the game. We'll find out if there's any special teams guys that come out. So we'll see here. Taken from the 11-yard line, he's going to take it to the 20, up past the 25, and will get brought down by a host of Tigers, and that's where they're going to start their next drive. So look, going forward, you're sending out, obviously, your starters are still out there, I believe. Yeah, some aren't, some are. I mean, they're going to, it looks like, I think, a couple of starters are out. So, look, this is a good chance to see what you got as far as depth is concerned. Find out who's the next lineman who's going to start plowing guys down. Who's the next – another timeout here by Franklin. But who's the next star? We saw it last week. Just last week, nobody called Donnell McQuilla's name not once in the first couple weeks. All of a sudden, he's got a fourth quarter, and he busts out 75 yards rushing. So all of a sudden, you got yourself a star. So these are the things that you have to look for, I guess, in a time like this, down 42-7, 9:18 to go. You find out what you got on the bench.
Who is hungry? Who wants to step up to the plate? Who wants to be known as a go-to guy? Because to be a go-to guy, you're not just go-to when you're up and the lights are on. You're go-to no matter when. Can we go to you when we're down? Can we go to you when it doesn't look good? Are you always ready to be on? This is that time to show it.
We'll find out what kind of offensive plays they have lined up for us here in the fourth quarter. 9:18 to go. Dave Sturchill up top in the booth at Franklin High School alongside Scott Harrell and our producer and the guy keeping us online right now, Howard Gaber, behind the controls. So I formation here. He's going to hand the ball off to the right side.
Ooh.
Nowhere to go. Bottled up quick.
Good Lord, met by a host of Tigers, led by number 85? No, 58. Excuse me.
But yeah, go ahead.
Danielle Carabali coming in like a cannonball, shutting down any form of daylight for that run.
But like I said to you before, we'll find out who we got. And right now, it looks like Kayvon Gordon's day is through. So we have a new quarterback, and that's Dylan Millman. This is, again, the Millman family. There's two members of that family on this team right now. They've gotten themselves a good breed of family down there. He's the quarterback right now. We're going to find out what he's got to offer. He's going to hand the ball off up the gut. Nice run, second and third effort, taking it to the 35-yard line, making it a very manageable third down.
Excellent
And that was Donnell McQuilla once again. He's having himself a decent day as well.
Excellent. Made it all the way to the secondary, making it short yardage. Beautiful run. Now as you know, it's truly autumn here. Our glass is fogging over. We're trying to see numbers and everything in Friday Night Lights, but we're seeing an excellent game here by the effort that's being put by these players that, you know what? Hey, they're not the bench squad. They're the next squad.
Absolutely. I mean, we are in the fourth quarter, and that you can call this McQuilla time.
I like that.
So now right up the gut, and that's a first down. That's a great run. And that's not McQuilla. That is none other than number 25 on the carry, and that is George Amanqua. He is the senior, 5'9", $175. He plays a little running back, plays a little defensive back, and gets himself a fresh set of downs. And they're going to take over first down now at the 44-yard line. We'll find out what Millman and company can put together. Now, remember, you know, you do got Kayvon Gordon, and he's a phenomenal star athlete, but he is in 11th grade. He's going to be a senior next year. He's probably going to be your starting quarterback, but Millman's going to put some pressure on you. I'm telling you right now, they were talking about this kid when I was coaching, and the kid wasn't even in high school yet. So there's definitely a lot of excitement in the Franklin community about this kid. So now first down, man in motion here, I formation. He's going to hand the ball off right up the gut. This is outside to the flat, and he's going to find a little room with some laundry on the field.
Yeah, I did see a flag thrown in the backfield there, Dave.
When it's thrown that quick, it's usually a hold. And now we're going to get a legal shift, actually, on the Franklin Warriors. That'll back them up after a very good effort by Donnell McQuilla.
Look, all I can say, Dave, is we've seen a couple of runs. We got this new young quarterback in there. They got to open it up. I want to see him go to the air, and I'm sorry. If you got an offensive coordinator whose nickname is Ammo, I want to see some ammunition fly.
I'll tell you right now, I've seen this guy's playbook. It made me go cross-eyed. He's got a lot of stuff in the arsenal, but it's all about just execution. I mean, it's one thing to run it in practice, and it might look great in practice, but when you go against Linden, you know, juggernaut of a team, 19th in the state, it might be a little bit more difficult to get these take these shots down the field. So now first and a little bit longer, I formation with an H-back to your right. He's going to hand this ball off again to the outside, stutter steps, takes it to about the 44, maybe the 45 if they're generous. That is Donnell McQuilla once again. He's got to have at least 25 touches in this game already. He's getting a heavy dose of McQuilla.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's McQuilla time.
It's McQuilla time. I didn't want to take that from you. Ryan Sampson on the hit and takedown, teamed up with number 50, Darren Williams, trying to bring that McQuilla time to, I don't know, Bud Light. But
yeah, that's great. High school broadcast talking about God knows what. So anyway, I formation now with an H-back. The receiver's going all the way to the top of your screen. Watch out for him. You never know. Takes a shot down the field. He's going to give it to the fullback, who's going to find no room whatsoever. And that, again, is 25, George Amanqua, trying to find something here. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Look for Millman maybe to go to the dark skies here and see if he can put one in action. Like I said, a lot of talk about this kid, a lot of hype. So we'll see what he's got to offer. We are at 4:52 and counting here in the 4th quarter. 42-7 in favor of the Linden Tigers over your Franklin Warriors. Dave Sturcio up in the booth alongside Scott Harrell. And, of course, our producer, the man behind the controls, the man keeping us on the air right now, Howard Gaber.
Michael Mitchell in on that last stop, number 22.
So now 3rd down, high formation again. H-back off to the right. And he's just going to run it into nobody but white jerseys, and that is Donnell McQuilla for about his 30th touch of the game.
M&M, number 22, Michael Mitchell there to meet, greet, and hug him in a quick, fast, and a hurry. That's going to bring up 4th.
It looks like 4th down now, and it looks like, you don't want to say they're waving the white flag here, but it looks like they just want to get to next week healthy, and they want to make sure that they're all intact, handing the ball off 3 straight times there. But here we go now, a punt formation to send it on back to Linden with 3:50 and counting here in the 4th quarter, live from Franklin High School. Thank you so much for tuning in, all 4,000 of you that are listening in and watching it at this moment. And, that kick was almost blocked. A lot of pressure, another good bounce. That's something you can take away from this game.
Absolutely.
Is that every single punt that he has taken a favorable bounce. I don't know if it's a technique thing. I don't know if it's a field condition thing. But I'm telling you right now that, Linden hasn't come off with that good field position at all. I mean, they're doing it with a lot of, green pastures in front of them.
Well, now if they can just keep them down on that side of the field, maybe get a turnover, get the ball back, something. Franklin has a lot that they can take away from this game, look forward to. But, you also want to – and you tell me, you were a coach. I'm just a talking head. What does it do for the team if you let them open it up a little bit? Does that add to their confidence, or do you think that may take them a little bit too far out into a pasture that they're not familiar with?
Yeah, I mean, right now what you want to do is you want to just make sure – you're not looking ahead per se, but you want to make sure you get out of this one healthy. You take the good for what it's worth. There was a lot of good in this offensive scheme. I mean, and look at that. Nice little defensive stop there. By who else? Who else?
Number 29, Joshua. Big sack attack. McDonald's on the drive-through.
On the drive-through. I mean, there's just so many McDonald's puns tonight. They should be our next sponsor. I'm just going to throw that out there. So McDonald's, Roger, if you're listening, please sponsor the HSG Network's broadcast next week. Now, McDonald's also running off the field, trying to run off that large fry. So, you like that? Here we go again. Quads now. He's going to set up. He's going to hand the ball off. Cutting out to his right. He's going to look for some room. He has some. He's still running, still giving all his best effort here. As the clock continues to run here, high school football rules, the clock will continue to run. 1:48 to go. Ticks away. So Franklin about to start the season 0-4. Obviously not your ideal start on the stat book. And in the papers tomorrow, when you look at the paper, you're going to see, okay, Franklin got shelled. Franklin got shellacked again. But again, you're finding out what you have on this squad. You're finding out the kind of players, the kind of character. Right now, if you look at that sidelines, they're still, the toes are on the white line. They're all upright. Nobody's sulking on the sidelines. They're into this game right now. Regardless of the score, somebody wants to make a play because you know what? These kids are playing for the next level.
Absolutely, and you got plenty of players on there whose names we've called who've made some excellent plays throughout this game. I've called not only Mr. McDonald's name several times, but you also have Mr. Estevez, who's made several key plays and stops during this game, and that's just on the defensive side alone, let alone Trajan Taylor.
Yeah.
You have a lot of potential in this team.
It's just about stringing these things together. There's 45 seconds to go now as they bring on a punt team. Looks like they're going to give it back to the Franklin Warriors to see if they can break the schneid here in the second half. 42-7, 33 seconds to go and counting. We want to thank you guys again for tuning in. And, of course, thanks to the Franklin High School Booster Club. We pay for things they can't, and that's indeed what they are doing. They brought to you this game. They've got plenty of merchandise at the concession stands. Check out franklinboe.org for more information on that. Thank you guys again for sponsoring us. And we have a little bit of a delay here. Oh, delay of game penalty. They're going to take that on purpose just to drain the clock as far as they could possibly go. 16 seconds to go. And as we wrap this up, we look forward to next week, obviously. You know, Linden obviously didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but Ridge, very winnable game. It's back to the drawing board.
Absolutely. Wish you'd be here, but you know what? I'll try and have some fun with Tom. As you know, Howard sends you on assignment. One of these days he's going to send me. But you know what, Dave? It's been a pleasure. Howard, hey, always keeping things real and live and working. Is that the wire I'm not supposed to pull? Oh.
No, leave that alone. But as the clock ticks away here, our final score, 42-7 in favor of the Linden Tigers. Your final thoughts on this one?
You know, it was a great game to watch because not looking at the score but looking at the play, you can see on one hand Franklin has a lot of next-level potential just coming to the surface. Linden, dominant. As long as they keep their discipline, you can see they're ranked for a reason. They're definitely going deep into this season.
All right, well, this has been a production of the HSG Network. Like we said, we want to thank the Franklin High School Booster Club for putting us on the air. I am Dave Sturcio. That is Scott Harrell. And, of course, our producer, the man keeping us on Facebook Live right now, and that is Howard Gaber. Till next time next week, good night, everybody.